Maura James. I'm a seminarian of the Orthodox Church, and I am the president of the Orthodox Christian Youth Association of Kenya, based here in our country. And I'm proud, number one, to be Orthodox, number two, to be Christian, because it has shaped me. Being a Christian has shaped me. Being Orthodox has made me who I am today. Yeah. The Orthodox Church is among the very conservative Christian denomination. It being one of the oldest, because the church dates back to 33 AD. So, and those principles that actually have been passed on, because there are two things that we actually follow hand by hand: the scriptures and the holy traditions. The way they are passed from the apostles' mouth to the ears of the people who are addressed to us, and then I will pass it down the way it has been. And again, these principles include, number one, it is how we define the church. Unlike maybe any other Christian denomination, the church, I can say what the church is and what the church is not. For us, the church is a hospital. It's a hospital of sinners. And it is not a museum of saints, nor a restaurant of the righteous. So it's a place where we come because we are sick. I am sick, maybe the disease of being, for example, I fornicate, you have your own disease, but we cannot make judgment on one another. So we are very much bound by love. We are united by the spirit of love. And most importantly, we do not and we cannot make judgments on any person. Thank you. We go back from the very beginning in the Genesis. The Bible states very well, and when God created everything, He said it was good. So from that point, we learn two things. Number one, He created something that needed to be there. Number two, it was good. So we can say generally that the issue of creation and pre-creation that was given to man has two concepts. That God not only gave man the ability to create, but also to name something, and it became. Like you remember Adam, when he was told to name everything that was created, he named a lion, and it became. So God has given man that special ability to name something and it becomes, because of need. So I would say that a context, we look at every situation in a given context to determine how the acceptability of that situation. Because man has become a procreator with God. Man has the ability to choose what is good and what is wrong. You know, one mistake that we do as Christians is to use our own ethics to make judgment to others. Let us not forget that what is ethical to you may not be ethical to me. Because ethics is dictated by so many things. Number one, cultural differences. Number two, family upbringing. Number three, regional settings. Number four, the way we coexist with one another. Exposures shape what we seem ethical or not. So one thing that we should remove from our minds completely is looking down on people, judging people according to our own ethical standing. We are not here to judge. Number one is to know that we all have that one special thing that was not given to any other creature in the world. Free will. The ability to choose for yourself what you want. Number two, it is very important to note that my own, we say as theologians that Christ is experienced personally. My Christ might not be yours, as much as we share the same religion or the same faith. Because Christ should be experienced personally, and my experience shapes who I become. So I would not pass any judgment as a person to any person who decides otherwise in regards to his or her own life. What I would say is that if, for instance, that was to happen to somebody I know or somebody I may have had an encounter with, I would totally respect their opinion, and it has nothing to do with me, it has everything to do with them. I want to be very thankful because of knowledge of sexual reproductive health and rights is coming out. Some years ago, my organization would not have had this kind of talks. But now we thank God that they are coming to light. We are able to hear about them. We can be able to talk about them. Because number one, theologians would say that it's only the devil who doesn't like change. So it is, we listened to when we were taught about sexual reproductive health and rights, and we started advocating. We started teaching our people. We started holding online forums. We started having sittings to discuss matters of sexual reproductive health and rights. And we had first-hand information from our people, because the people who are going through, the women and girls who are going through all these things, we live with them. They are our brothers and sisters. They are our church congregants, and they come to church with us. And then the OSIAC Kenya held a convention, and we had very interesting testimonies, because the youth asked us, okay, religious leaders and our beloved clergymen, we teach and we preach abstinence. And then the youth asked, what if we can't? So the question is, what do we tell them? And the youth went ahead and asked, so what if we can't abstain? Should we leave the church? Should we just not come? And that to us was an eye-opener, because we realized that as much as we advocate and tell people to go to heaven, we are preparing the way for the second coming of the Messiah, we realize that sometimes we become like the Pharisees. You know how they were? They were interested very much to do things by the book, rather than look at the need of the people in that given perspective. Because we realized that as much as we would say and we would want our people to abstain, the truth is that they are not. So what do we do about it? So let us teach them how to live with that malady. When you give birth to a kid who is abled differently, do they stop becoming your son or daughter? No. So what you do, you learn to stay with them. So our congregants, because they are engaging in sexual acts, whether we like it or not, because they are procuring unsafe abortions, whether we like it or not. So the question should be, what do we do about it? And that is an open brainstorm to all religious leaders out there. Ask yourself, do we choose to become like Pharisees, the ones that Christ referred to them as hypocrites? Or do we decide to sit down and talk and ask one another, how do we save a life? How do we assist one another? How do we keep our women and girls in church in the spirit of love, so that we can grow together? Thank you. it is very important to note that we are all responsible for the well-being of our society, because we belong in this society. We are not going anywhere. So, and the congregants in the church are the same people, are my neighbors in the village, are the same people who go to vote, are the same people who live together with us. So that one, the issue of making the government be accountable on issues of sexual reproductive and the rights is not something we need to be requesting. This is something that ought to be there, because it involves our well-being. And again, some of the misconception about speaking about sexual reproductive and rights is because many people are ill-informed. We think maybe sexual reproductive health and rights activists want to propagate the issue of sex without people being married, or maybe procuring abortions and everything. What you are trying to do is actually bringing the reality closer to the people, because truth doesn't change. Truth remains truth, no matter how many times you want to deny that. Truth will always be truth. So my request would be, it is a high time that activists work together with the church and faith-based organization and theologize the issue of sexual reproductive health and rights, so that it can be made accessible to our people in the most simplest way. Just like Christ should come to you in the simplest way possible, then I think this agenda should come to our people in the simplest way possible. The truth is that matters of sexual reproductive health and rights are not a foreign agenda. Because let us be realistic. You will always have your gay friend, your lesbian colleague, and so on. They will always be there. So the reality of the matter is that we will cover the truth in the basis of you don't want to be the whistleblower, but the truth will catch up finally. So I believe that it's not a foreign policy, because we've seen them, we've lived these experiences, we've listened to their case, we have seen them. So I think what we are doing probably sugarcoating the truth, which is not right. Let us address sexual reproductive and rights issues head on, point on, so that we can be able to address our people in the most sincere way possible. God does not require us to wear a collar or a cassock, for instance. God requires us to be good and kind. What is to be good and what is to be kind? To be good and kind means that there is the aspect of being just. There is the aspect of me as a leader of a faith-based group to go out there and speak about these issues that women and girls are going through. That is what is to be good. If I would appear here with a beautiful collar and not speak about that which is good, it will all be in vain, because that's not what Christ did. Christ knew who Zacchaeus was. Christ knew what he had done. He had stolen from the people, but still he chose to go to his house. So that was what was good, and that was what was just, according to him. Many people did not understand, just like not many people will understand this message. But for those people who want to be good, and those people who want to love one another, and those people who want to be just, so that we can win more souls to Christ, that will be the right thing to do. you.